Hey, we're live. We'll wait till the turn of the hour to get started. We should come momentarily. Oh, heck, let's just get started now. My name is Luke Bragg, co-founder of Profila, and we're going to do a demo of some of the features of Profila today. So if you have any questions, I think if you put a comment on Twitter, it will come through to us here, and I'll try to address it as best we can. We did another one of these yesterday, a bit of a longer demo. We're going to focus today on just some of the spine components, a little bit bite-sized pieces of Profila for a Friday. Now, anyone out there who has done a demo before knows this is when they fail, when you're live, when you're streaming to a worldwide audience. So let's see how this all works. So we're going to focus today on like I said, the spine of Profila, which is connecting with a brand, accepting a data subscription with that brand, and then consuming their content. Along the way, I'll be careful to note where we're different, where the differentiators are, because a lot of things you'll see may seem similar to other platforms you've seen, but it's the behind the scenes, it's the nuts and bolts that really determine the differences, the newness of what we're trying to do. So, okay, so you can see my screen. This is the Profila platform. First thing is we love minimal design. We think that social media platforms are so cluttered now that they're constantly trying to scream at us to do something new, when it's really the content from the folks that we love or the brands we follow that is the most important thing. So your feed is very, very minimal and simple, and it is simply a feed of the brands that you've let in the door. And that's a key concept with Profila that I'll get to here in a second. So you can see that we've got a few brands, a Ferrari seller, and then some fictional brands we've set up as demos. The first thing we're going to do is go to the brands part of the platform, where it will show the different data relationships. I'll spend a little bit of time on this just so everything's clear. There are 3 stages of relationships between you and a brand. Now, if you think about what the current state of this looks like now, you have a lot of relationships in your life, even if you don't realize it, with all the brands you follow on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, whatever. The difference is it's a very unbalanced relationship. They get a lot of data about you that you not necessarily wanted them to have, and you get a one-size-fits-all content stream from them that doesn't really differentiate, and they don't know much about you. So they can't say, what kind of fan are you of a football club, or what kind of, or even your gender necessarily for a clothing brand. So the first stage of this is the idea of a vote. A vote is your ability to tell a platform that is not on Profila, you should be on Profila, because this is where data relationships, this is where customer relationships will be in the future on a much more even basis than they are now. So you can vote for any brand, and then our team at Profila will go out to those brands and say, hey, why don't you try it out with just the people who've already said they want to be a better customer of yours. The second level, and then of course, if one of those brands, if Nike joins the platform, you'll be notified, and then you can decide what level of sharing you want to do with them to start. The second level is connections, and this is the idea that I have expressed to a brand that is on the platform, I'm ready. I'm ready for a better relationship. I'm better for exclusive offers, exclusive content. I want a relationship. So it's a signal on your part. And then a subscriber, your subscribers, and that's the key thing about Profila, is a brand subscribes to you because you have what's valuable. You have your data, you have your wallet, you have your spending power. You're in control of this. So they subscribe to you, which is a radical way of viewing things. But we think it's much more in line with Web3, with decentralization, with where the internet should go, beyond the surveillance and tracking and one-sided relationships that we have now on the internet. And so a subscriber is someone that I have consented to have access to certain parts of my Profila for a certain duration, for a certain remuneration. I'm paid in Zeek, our wonderful crypto token. And that's a key concept of consent. So essentially a relationship in Profila with a brand has to do with consent, transparency, and revocability, which means that the relationship starts only when I say yes, and I know exactly the terms of that. The transparency is I always know what they have access to, which parts of my profile they have access to, and what they can do with it. And revocability, if they do something that upsets me or I just don't like the brand anymore, I can revoke the subscription, they lose access to my data immediately. So that's the kind of power that just doesn't exist now that we're trying to build into it. So we're going to go through a process of connecting to a brand, getting that subscription offer, accepting it, and then seeing the content. Because once they subscribe to me, then they can provide me the exclusive offers, exclusive content. And it's really, we're going to start with the football club here, Juventus. And as a connection, I can share a little bit of information or not. So again, this is a connection. I'm expressing a desire to be in a data relationship, a better customer relationship with Juventus. I can share a few pieces of data anonymously, so it's just gender, location, and age, or not at all. I'm going to share a little bit as a connection. And now they show up as a connection. If I click on that, we're brought into something called Ledger. This is a running. Imagine that it's like a massive chat, but it's you and the brand. So it's everything that happens between you and the brand over the course of time, whether it's the content they share, the offers they send, and we have a lot of other ideas of how brands are going to use this. And Profila really is a two-directional loyalty program. When we talk to brands, we talk about bringing their best customers on Profila. It's private, it's quiet, it's uncluttered, it's unsurveillance, there's no tracking, and they can then give more to their best customers, also by knowing them better. So I'm going to review the offer here. So this is a subscription offer. So again, a revolutionary idea. The idea that a brand says, here's the information we'd like from you for a certain duration. In this case, it's the end of the year. What they're going to pay me. Again, we don't know how this is going to evolve. It's not going to be an income for you, but it is a representation to you that your data is valuable. And all of this flows through our Zeek token, which is the circulatory system of the entire platform. There'll be many opportunities to both earn and burn Zeek on the platform and connect your wallet and cash out, or add your Zeek that you bought in the market to here as well. It's going to be a really incredible ecosystem with all the features we have in the roadmap. But anyway, a subscription offer. Very, very clear what they want to have access to, which personal information, and also the categories. And we're not going to deal necessarily today with the psychographic data, but we'll talk about it a little bit here today in this session. All this works. All the surveillance and tracking that we live with now goes away once every human being has a better data source that they own, that they control, that they can create and maintain. Why would a brand pay a third party for bad data about you when they can pay you for the best data ongoing? It's almost like a perpetual focus group of your best customers. So a lot of that is personal data, which is fine. And there's a lot of cases we can imagine that's incredibly relevant. Imagine if every organization in your life subscribed to your Profila and had your address and phone number, and one of those things changed. Our co-founder, Michiel, just moved houses, and he's been very frustrated figuring out all the folks who need to know his new address. Well, if they subscribe to Profila, they've all got it instantaneously. And then they can trigger whatever processes they need to do. In Michiel's case, it's an energy company or anything else that's delivering things physically to you. That's incredible to think about, because that addresses a frustration that everybody has. And that's great. Personal data, contact data, demographic data is very important and helps a brand put you in a box to be able to tailor their messaging to you. But that's only the first part. The second part is the psychographics. It's what's in my head and what's in my heart. And that comes from, and again, we'll do this in another stream, that comes from our self-discovery quizzes. We have about 50 categories of self-discovery quizzes. And these are built and designed for you to answer questions about you, your sentiment, your preferences, your ambitions, your likes and dislikes, what kind of traveler you are, what's your fashion sense, your food and drink preferences, a whole bunch of stuff. And every answer to every question you give is yours. It's part of your vault, it's part of your Profila, and you get to decide who has access to it and what they can do with it. So in this case, Juventus wants to know, they want access to my health and fitness insights, sports, food and drink, and also the brand quizzes. So in this case, there is one quiz that I can take that's specific to Juventus, that helps them put me even a smaller segment. Let's say, for instance, I love the women's football team. Well, not every Juve fan loves the women's football team. And if they're putting stuff on Instagram, a lot of their folks, a lot of their followers may not like that because they only like the men's team. But in a private environment, like Profila gives, the folks who love their women's team, they can get exclusive content and offers specifically to that because Juventus knows that I love the women's team. And as I like to say, it's not creepy because I told them and I have a data relationship with them. And that's such a radical approach to things now, where now we hope the data is used well, we hope that they guess correctly based on our observed behavior to match us with stuff that we're interested in, but they really don't know. In Profila, they will know because you've told them, because you've opened up the kimono a bit and let them have access to this. Okay, so I'm going to accept this request, which means now I'm in a data relationship with Juventus, and they are with me as well. Now, if I go back, aha, look at that on a demo. So we'll talk about a brand for a second. We spent a lot of time in designing the brand backend. There's a whole different interface for the brands to use for their purposes. And we spent a lot of time thinking, how can we make the administration for a brand as easy and simple and pain-free as possible? Because these people are busy. Marketing managers are busy. Small business owners are busy. And one of the things that we have in the back end are called triggers. So in this case, when I added Juve as a connection, they have a subscription offer ready to go and sent in real time to anyone who connects with them in this case. Now, of course, and it may not be anybody that connects with them, it may be only just people in Switzerland. So they can actually create what's called a list and say, okay, we want a list of people all in Switzerland. When we get a connection from them, send them a subscription offer, which is why I was able to see the subscription offer that they had. Now, of course, when I accepted that subscription offer, they also had a trigger to send me what we call a brand moment, this which looks very similar to a social media post, and that's very intentional, which is a welcome message. So that Juve can set this up and run this for a year and say, okay, whenever anybody connects to us, send them a subscription offer. When anyone accepts a subscription offer, send them their welcome message, which again could be an offer, could be any kind of content. But again, this is a private channel. And I'll reiterate, nothing in here, there's another one from them. Nothing in this feed comes without me consenting to a data relationship. And there's no algorithm that boosts or jukes or whatever. You're getting the content you've signed up for in the data relationships that you've accepted. And that's a key thing. Now, these are simple messages about Juve and also Profila. You can see that they want me to fill in the survey for Juventus. So I'm going to click on that. And this is a simple quiz here. I'm going to be a casual observer. I like the women, I like the first men's team. I'm not a member of any of the clubs. I watch the big matches. I'm actually a Man United fan, so this is very painful for me to do this, but I do like Juventus because they've got an American on the team. So I'm going to say I work watching a sports bar and with friends sometimes. And I'm not going to worry about those two questions. Okay, so now I've completed the Juventus quiz. I can go back and take it again. And yeah, now what Juventus can do is they can set up additional brand moments. Let's say for the women's team, we didn't set that up. that trigger then, once they've learned that I am a supporter of the women's team or any other things that I've answered, that allows them to target market to me even better based on what they've learned about me. A good example from one of our trials is an Indian restaurant. In that situation, they wanted to have a special offer trigger when someone in one of the food and drink quizzes said, I'm a vegetarian. Because they wanted to get, and immediately I received an offer for a free appetizer for that restaurant, for a free vegetarian appetizer. So the more they knew about me, the more they could target their marketing, the more they could target their offers and exclusive content to what they know about me. And again, that's a powerful concept that really now is only done by stalking and tracking. They're guessing. And if you think about your feeds in different social media platforms, they're guessing. Sometimes they're guessing well, but it's still an imbalanced situation because they're just kind of observing you, maybe not even on their site, but on other sites as well, and trying to guess who you are based on what you clicked on. But as I like to say, my search history does not define the totality of my soul, and my social media likes do not define me as a person. So Profila is the place where you can create a genuine profile of your psychographics of what's in your head and what's in your heart, and share it with the brands you're most loyal to. And because of that, they can take all the messaging that they would normally just throw out one-stop shopping in their social media and say, actually, Luke loves this. Let's just give him an offer for that and not clutter up his life with other things as well. I'm not seeing any questions yet. Hopefully there's somebody watching this. Think of anything. So again, we've really shown the spine of Profila, which is brands, data relationships, and the content that they want to provide you in a private environment. And so you can imagine having in the future a mature Profila where potentially dozens and dozens of brands. Think about the brands that you buy things from, or the local restaurants in your town. Imagine a world where Facebook is, again, just for friends and family. Instagram's for pretty pictures. And Profila is where you're coming for the commercial relationships in your life. The brands you love, the restaurants you visit, the travel companies you engage with. Every question you answer is giving them more insights about who you are and be able to match you up. And that's really what this is about. This is about smart matching of content to the individual or offers to the individual. It's very easy to imagine the value of this when you imagine as these numbers pile up. And also there might be that with a connection, you want to provide a little bit of information, but anonymously, and you could still ask them to send you some offers as well, but in a private. But in this case, Juventus, I want them to know my name, I want them to know who I am deep down as a football fan. But these other brands, it may just be, okay, well, the fact that I'm of a certain age in Switzerland, they can already put me in a very accurate segment. And it's about, for them, it's about lowering their marketing spend, less messages, but better messages to people, better conversion because they're actually giving you something relevant. And for individuals, it's uncluttering. It's less is more. It's reclaiming that sovereignty that my data is valuable. What's in my head and what's in my heart is valuable. And I want to only deal with brands who are going to respect that and who will tailor their offers to something that they should know by now is relevant for me in a quiet, private environment. And we know in the future your Profila will go with you on your mobile and on your other device, and you can also be able to give access to aspects of that to a store you're in or a restaurant you're in. We can the real life scenarios are incredible, and it's a very empowering thing to reclaim this part. And Profila will be a part of a better internet, a much more balanced internet between individuals and the organizations. They've had too much time and effort to stalk us, and we really don't blame the brands because they use the tools that they have now, and those tools are provided by other platforms, and those are based on observed behavior and such. But we know this is a better data source for those brands than anything else out there. And we're really proud of what we built. This is a live demo, and these are live brands and such. And as I said, Zeek, the token that we'll be launching soon, is a circulatory system. So as I answer questions, I'm being rewarded with Zeek. As I'm doing other activities, I'm rewarded. Every feature in the future. Part of our process of designing it is thinking about how will Zeek flow through this, how will Zeek add value to this. And it's incredible the things we're going to come up with and have come up with that are in the pipeline. So most people will not want to cash out their Zeek that they earn, and they want to keep it there because there's going to be lots of things to use it. And even brands can say, okay, well, Juve wants to give a special offer, but I can get even more if I spend some Zeek as well. So, okay. I think we've covered what we want to cover today. We want to don't do too much. We'll be back again very soon with other aspects of the platform in more bite-sized pieces. That's a good name for the show, Profila, bite-sized Profila. But I hope you enjoyed this and got a sense of both how simple and revolutionary Profila is in rethinking the relationship between you and the brands and organizations that you love, and put it on much more equal footing. And again, based on consent, based on transparency, and based on revocability. So you may have noticed, last thing I'll say is, where is that? Is the ability to disconnect or yeah, let me go there. Yeah, is I can cancel the subscription as I want to if Juve, maybe they get relegated again, who knows. So this is Luke Bragg of Profila signing off, and we will see you